Dearest Suicide, Part 1. It's good to commit suicide. This is going to be the last expression you're going to read from me before I finally decide to commit my suicide. I'm sorry to say, but I've buried enough. And since it's the last time you will read me, what would you make of it? How would it look to you? What would you make of my words, my actions, my vulnerabilities, my fears, my smiles, my courage, my cheers, my tears, and all of the times you've spent reading each and every piece of me in the past? Have you even spent any time worth spending with me at all? Did you ever care to take note of the things I was clearly writing out, saying, screaming, and expressing with unequivocal words and alphabets? Did you value anything I wrote down, or were they read with beef, smirks, scoff, scorn, and sheer pretense? A sheer pretense of saying well done when you were only trying to contain your discomfort of reading something that doesn't make sense to you. And before you could even say jack or care to appreciate my work, I'm gone. I leave. I die. I commit my suicide without saying a word, not even a good, not to talk of the accompanying bye. Well, I have no words to say to you for now. I'll rather turn to focus on a friend I've long been admiring from a distance. Suicide. Dearest Suicide, how are you doing? It's been a while I heard from you, and I thought it best to come see you since I no longer have anyone to talk to. The last time we met, a larger part of the crowd silently made noise about our friendship. They raised their head, twitched their nose, beat the dust, and held placards in resistance of the opinion I held concerning you. It's good to commit suicide, I wrote, and I gave a long dosage of pills about our love story and how the affair we had almost made you take it for me. Controversial? That's what they called me and hurled at me. They had lots of sentences to make about my type of thought, style of writing, and even questioned what I want to bring out of my expressions. They demanded that I explain why I would write in such manner, knowing fully well that lots of young folks were now taking their lives in disturbing numbers. I never cared to listen to them, even though they judged. I didn't budge, didn't nudge, didn't even dare fudge. I just kept on writing. I knew exactly why I was writing, who I was writing to, and what I was talking about. So I wasn't ready to allow some irrational nitwits think their misplaced opinion could stop me from admiring your beauty or my plans to come live with you. I had made myself mentally strong for my cause already, so I wasn't swayed by their sentimental sentiment. However, the story didn't begin here. On the 28th of November 2018, a final year student of agricultural economics studying at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, took his own life unannounced. Reports stated that the young guy killed himself for some issues relating to the repayment of debt he owed, debt he couldn't pay. Apparently, he borrowed a certain amount of money from a whoever to play bet, and he lost. I could have sworn that it was Man U, Chelsea, Arsenal, or Barcelona that caught his bet in the period of question, but I can't speak for the dead. Earlier that year, a final year student of computer engineering at the University of Benin hung himself in the privacy of his apartment, his room. Words had it that he attended lectures on that fateful day and returned home to do his routine chores before going into his room to end his life without saying goodbye. It was his sister's persistent knock on the door, forcing the door open, that alarmed the campus of a lifeless body that had been dangling around for some hours. The young lad had said to have been suffering from a manic depressive sickness known as bipolar disorder. But for a guy who was running on a first-class CGPA and also in his final year, academic depression surely wasn't to be one of his disorders. That's not all. On the 13th day of March 2018, a 20-year-old secondary school guy known simply as Umar died by suicide. After a series of endless battles with depression, he hung himself. Like the previous story about the first-class student who hung himself, The body of this lad was found swaying to the rhythm of the waves in a nearby river in his area. More shocking was the reality that he had just concluded his pre-university examination, JAMB, when he thought it best to end his life. Then in July of the same year, a student of Niger Delta University did the same thing by drinking a portion, maybe the entire bottle of Sniper. Daniel, as he was known to be, drank the hazardous liquid, having confirmed from the school board that he had 4 carryover courses to retake. Rushed to the hospital, he was unable to be revived. Dearest suicide, if anything could be said in favor of you being the best option for him, his sister's tribute via the social media only made things feel all the worse. She wrote, "What a painful exit. Those special memories of you will always bring a smile to my face. If only I could have you back for just a little while, then we could sit and talk again just like we used to do. You always meant so much and we always do. The fact that you're no longer here will always cause me pain, but you are forever in my heart, my dear brother, until we meet again." And then the most popular happened in May 2019. Chukwuemeka Akachi, a young Nigerian poet and student of University of Nigeria, Nsukka, who was running on first class at that time, finally decided to pay you a permanent visit, and his timeline became the haven for emotional words and accusatory talks. Words he will never get to read, talks that didn't matter to you. He was just 21 and he drank 2 bottles of Sniper.